Hey guys, Jeremy here with Defender Training again. And tonight, going along with our rifle build and some of the components, tonight we're going to work on or show you guys the barrels. And there's barrels obviously for everything, every build or rifle type you're trying to achieve. This one right here obviously is my competition rifle. It's heavier. It's pretty thick barrel. The reason for that being is when you get shooting or get firing a lot of rounds in the competition, which most stages are 8 to 12 rounds, the barrel will heat up pretty fast. So the reason we have that large steel barrel, it's all stainless steel barrel, is to soak up some of that heat, and bigger diameter, more surface area to let it cool. It takes longer to heat up, and it's stiffer. It doesn't, they call it warp or bend left or right, and change impact. I've actually had that thing pretty warm, 2 back-to-back 12-round strings with it, and it was hot to the touch, but it didn't affect the accuracy-wise or anything. And the base diameter of that down here, I have a caliper here. I did some measurements before I started the video. It's about 1.3 inches, as opposed to the carbon fiber one, which is just over 1 inch. The carbon fiber barrels, this is a hot topic. I know Bagara just came out with it's called the Cure. It's known in the past that the carbon fiber barrels are great barrels. They're extremely accurate, but after they get warm, if you're taking multiple shots, like if you're going to do a competition with it, fast successive shots, I would say more than 6 to 7 shots, that this barrel it'll start to twist or warp. Can't dissipate the heat big enough. I mean, a quality barrel you shouldn't have an issue with. I haven't any issues with this one. I haven't fired it as much as the stainless steel one, back-to-back repetitive shots. I tell you one thing, it is extremely, extremely accurate, more accurate than I am. Slow fire. I shot a 3-round group with this, with factory, they're both 6.5s, with factory Hornady 143 ELDXs. That's what I use. This is my hunting setup. That's what I use for hunting. And I shot a 1.1 group, 1.8 inch group at 670 yards on paper with it. So it's, to me, that's really good. That's really decent for a relatively cheap barrel. This was $890, just the barrel, pre-fit, ready to go, out the door with free shipping. And obviously I added the muzzle devices. I'll give you guys a close-up look at this. Really sharp looking barrel. And if you look right here on the end, you can see that's that stainless steel. So when the carbon fiber barrels, what they are is there's actually, the barrel itself is only, let's say, if that's a 1 inch, maybe it's 5/8 size all the way around, and then it's wrapped with carbon fiber. And the carbon fiber is super light, obviously lighter than steel, and it stiffens up the barrel so that you don't have to worry about the barrel warping when it does get hot. Like I said, when they get extremely hot, they are known to have a point of impact adjustment. One of my buddies has a Christensen Arms MPR, and that one, after we fired it a couple times, 4 to 5 rounds, it will start to walk. It'll be relatively accurate, within, I would say, a foot or so. We were shooting at 670 yards, and it was jumping all over the place. But I haven't had that problem with the Proof Research barrels yet. I do love both of them. They're both awesome barrels. The stainless steel one, I have about 300 rounds down the barrel, holding actually very well. I normally clean it after every outing, but this is the first time I got about 100 rounds. I shot a 40 or so today down the barrel, and I haven't cleaned it yet. I'm going to see if the feet per second stabilizes before I clean it again, and then check it again after I clean it. There's a bunch of different stuff out there about cleaning your barrels, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, how often you should clean it. I'll listen to Eric Cortina a lot. I like a lot of his stuff, and what it does make sense to me. A lot of guys that shoot competitions, they're only looking for, 1 MOA or less at any yardage. And so they don't have to, they say they don't clean them as much. They clean them during break-in. Once the copper stops going down the barrel, they don't clean them again until the groups open up or accuracy falls off. And one of the things I like in his video is it says, well, what do you consider accuracy falling off? You know, they shoot F-class, so a tight group at, 1,000 yards, if accuracy is falling off, how much are you sacrificing? And those guys measure in tenths, for their groups to judge a winner or loser. So it's pretty neat, pretty interesting. That the stainless steel one in the back, that's a Proof Research competition contour. It is 26 inches long, and then with the brake's another 2 inches or so. That's a Eric Cortina brake on the front. It's meant to, it's pretty cool, I'll show you guys. It's meant to be able to tune your load to whatever you want. So you can see kind of there's a 0 there with a line. It's off a little bit. But what you would do is you get your load you want to use for the gun, you find your note or whatever that you're reloading for, or you have factory ammo that you want to reload for, and it's shooting, say at 100 yards, it's shooting 3/4 inch group. And you can't get it any tighter than that. What you can try to do is you can shoot a 3-round group and then turn it to 2. Of course, it's probably, I just tightened it down, but you turn it to 2. You can see there's all sorts of numbers on here. 9, 8, 7, there's 2. 2. And then you shoot another 3-round group. And then you turn it to 4, and you shoot another 2-round group. And you keep going until you have basically all your bolt holes in one group. And what it's doing is that's a little weighted thing on the end of the barrel there, that little knob, and it's changing the harmonics of the barrel. So it's hard to see it without having a slow-mo camera, but when we fire the bullet, your barrel does this. And it doesn't look like it, we can't see it in our eyes, but it does that little bit of a motion, and the harmonics from the barrel, the tuner adjust that, and it changes the way the barrel will vibrate, and it takes some of that out. It puts it on the opposite end of like the bend when it starts to vibrate, and it fixes it. And I've been very fortunate with this one. I haven't needed to adjust it yet with my hand loads. I wanted to get them as close as I could before I monkey with it, which they're very close now. So I'll probably start, I don't know, in the next 20 or 30 rounds, start monkeying with that and changing it. But it's awesome. It's very acceptable. The accuracy I have multiple pictures of, almost every group I go out with. I test 3 or 4 different hand loads, and every one of them is under half MOA. Most of them are quarter MOA or better. And for you guys that don't know what MOA is, 1 MOA is 1.047 inches at 100 yards. So most accuracy guys want their groups to be less than 1 MOA at 100 yards, so less than an inch. So when I say this thing's shooting half, it's shooting a 1/2 inch group, a 3-shot or 5-shot group at 100 yards. So yeah, I'm very happy with it. Both my proof barrels. I see that Bergara came out with a cure. Touch on that real quick. They're stating that their barrels dissipate the heat faster, or they can absorb more heat before the barrel will actually start acting up and start ruining groups or start opening up groups. They have so on this one, it's a stainless steel insert, and then it's wrapped in carbon fiber. What they have is they have a stainless steel insert, and then they have I think it's a steel mesh wrapped with resin, and then the carbon fiber on the outside of it again, and that's supposed to help it absorb more heat, and then dissipate the heat and keep it just as rigid to stop it from like I said, affecting those groups after the barrel starts to heat up. Like I said, I find it very hard, unless they're going to sell those barrels really cheap, $900 or less. I find it hard for people going to be able to market them, to buy them. I love Bergaras. They're my first 2 long-range rifles I got. But them keeping up with the demand, they got so popular so fast, you can't even get the rifles they said they were going to release a year ago. So trying to get barrels, that, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. But like I said, these are proof. You guys can go on the website on proofresearch.com and look at the barrels, stainless steel or carbon fiber. They make them for tons of actions. Like I said, these are both Origin, or Zermatt Arms, Bighorn Origins, but they have lists and lists on there, and they have different calibers, and you can pick different lengths. So it's pretty it's pretty cool. If you guys have any questions on the barrels, you can leave them below, post them on the video. Or like I said, I'm going to be working my way through these rifles. I'm going to finish the competition one first before I get to the hunting rig. But I'm going to finish going through the rest of them, you know, like what are these things? You know, what are these? That's an Arca rail. That's a homemade cheapo Arca rail because I didn't want to spend $300 on the KRG one. But I do love KRG, that stock. I really like it. Same thing, got these bipods and stuff. So we're going to go over it a little bit more. We're going to go over the Night Force optics. This is just a cheap Vortex, but I tell you what, it's awesome. It's the OG Strike Eagle. And yeah, so I'm gonna get to that stuff too, go over some stocks, go over some of the goodies that are on these rifles, and yeah, look forward to it. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like the video, like I said, any questions, feel free to hit me up. I will answer them. I'm trying to keep track of it as much as I can and get right back to you guys. So yeah, thanks, have a great night.